Hello everyone and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today wherever you are in this great world. We're going to talk about XRP and I gotta start with this from Mac Attack. XRP, why XRP ETF proposals are increasing and what is keeping other issuers on the sidelines. So the reason why we're seeing so many XRP ETFs is because of regulatory and legal clarity, plus institutional investors betting big, investor demand for crypto exposure beyond Bitcoin and ETH, potential for fresh liquidity and price impact as well. But the reason that you don't see all these other ETFs for all these other coins is because there's ongoing legal uncertainty for many tokens, strict custody compliance and market structure requirements, insufficient liquidity and trading volume, meaning that the prices are a little bit lower on all these other cryptocurrencies, high volatility and reputational risk, plus the high cost of creating and launching an ETF. So when people are saying that you're going to see hundreds upon hundreds of ETFs over the coming months for all these other cryptocurrencies, it's just not going to happen. There's too much legal uncertainty out there around a lot of these other cryptocurrencies, but remember, XRP was cleared by the courts back in July of 2023. XRP is not a security, and that's why there's so many ETFs. XRP influencer narratives of the day. 1. XRP is decoupling from Bitcoin. 2. ETF inflows will cause a supply shock. What is happening? XRP price is following Bitcoin price action. Now everybody's under the assumption that XRP is always going to follow Bitcoin, but I don't believe that's going to continue for much longer. You've got to remember, XRP has actual utility. Bitcoin doesn't. What Bitcoin got was first mover advantage, and a lot of people made a lot of money off of Bitcoin, and they're paying to keep the narratives going, keep the belief system running around Bitcoin. But eventually XRP will decouple and maybe it will happen because of supply shock. We already know that these ETF issuers have to buy and lock away XRP, so that XRP is leaving circulation every single day. More and more XRP is leaving circulation, except on the weekends. We seeing Bitcoin money rotating into XRP. A massive transaction just hit the XRP ledger. 110,193,345 XRP moved in a single transfer, sent from Bitcoin markets processed for just 0.01 XRP in fees. XRP ledger doing what it does best: speed, scale, and efficiency. I even think when Eric Trump talks about sending Bitcoin for nearly free and large amounts of it, I really think he's running that Bitcoin over the XRP ledger, but I do believe the Bitcoin money is rotating. I think a lot of older retail Bitcoin investors are starting to cash out and move beyond Bitcoin now. You even see the narrative shifting around it now. It's not going to hold up forever. XRP price could reach $300 if Bitcoin reaches $12 million, according to Saitler's prediction. I hate these articles. They make it seem like if Bitcoin doesn't move, XRP is never going to move. And that's just not true. They always say, well, if XRP had Bitcoin's market cap. I hate that saying also. Market cap does not matter. Utility matters. Just wait until they're talking about XRP skyrocketing without Bitcoin moving at all. That day is coming. Take a listen to this. Market cap of real-world tokenized assets is projected to reach $18.9 trillion in 2033. Take a listen. For example, that is basically a stock which is issued on blockchain. That's the same technology on which crypto is based. Industry insiders I have spoken with have said that eventually you will see the entire financial market run on blockchain. You started to see this with stable coins, and then now we're starting to see it with equities. We've heard of the announcements of Robinhood introducing 200 US tokenized stocks in the EU, a Gemini also offering tokenized stocks in the EU. Those are more derivative products that are not available in the US. But you've had the Nasdaq that has asked the SEC for permission to be able to offer tokenized shares, tokenized securities on the Nasdaq. And that's because of this wave of the entire financial infrastructure, which is expected to upgrade to blockchain, and they don't want to lose ground to platforms like Coinbase. like Kraken, like Gemini. This is a big market. Just to show you what one study shows is that real-world assets, the market cap for real-world assets is expected to go from 600 billion this year to in 2030. So she says it's 19 by 2030, and she's right on chain. The shift is AL tokenization. It's still her calculations could be XRP ledger position to the $867 trillion real-world asset tokenization wave. And he got that number from the World Economic Forum. They said tokenization is $867 trillion by 2030. So imagine on the way up to 2030, the value that's going to be running across the XRP ledger. That's why the price of XRP today doesn't bother me at all, because tokenization is about to boom. I think it's going to happen all throughout 2026, 2027. And how does XRP come crashing down in price if all this value is ending up on the XRP ledger? Archhacks alone wants to drop 30 to 50 trillion on the XRP ledger. How does XRP come crashing down? Bitcoin is still going to come crashing down. It has no utility. So that's how we decouple from Bitcoin. It's going to happen. It's inevitable. People that think that the 4-year cycle is going to continue to happen into the future, Bitcoin is up forever into the future, I think they're all wrong. In fact, I still think this is most likely the last major run-up for Bitcoin. Retail's out. Some institutions are still buying the narrative, buying the hype, but that's mainly in the United States. Outside the United States, these countries are pretty much telling you it's over for Bitcoin. Germany's doing it. The EU is doing it. Other countries are doing it. The IMF told El Salvador to drop all their Bitcoin bullshit and move on already because the rest of the world knows what's coming. All we're witnessing here in the United States is hype, and it's a marketing scheme at best. SEC set to examine tokenization rules with Coinbase, BlackRock, Galaxy, Robinhood joining in. So in less than a week, the SEC is going to start to advance tokenization, and now that Larry Fink is the head, well, he's co-chair at the World Economic Forum. He wants to tokenize everything. Even private property wants to tokenize. Private businesses and so on. They want to tokenize every single thing around you in the future. And I think it's going to start to pick up momentum even before the end of the year. I think the SEC is preparing for that to happen now. Finance expert says 200% XRP price surge is extremely conservative. Bitcoin pumped 200% after its ETFs, and some people are sitting here really thinking XRP won't do the same. 200% is extremely conservative, and I agree. I think that what we're gonna see for XRP early on, quickly moving to double digits, then I think we're going to see surges along the way pushing the price even higher. Once we get clarity in the United States, that's going to greenlight all these institutions. So one after another is going to be entering this space. We're still going to have companies creating XRP treasuries. We're still going to have liquidity pools in the future in between countries utilizing XRP. There's a chance the IMF utilizes XRP as an ESDR. That's still not off the table yet either. Plus we have Basel III coming in January. XRP could solve that major liquidity problem that the banks are going to be facing. I'm telling you, whatever price point you think right now is high for XRP, it's probably going higher. And then take a listen to this. So he's talking about getting rid of income taxes altogether. And that would be great. Let's start with capital gains tax on U.S.